has it. She has it. Hold it. Ready.
For the next 4 days, it's all lacrosse here in Foxborough. Both the women and the men crowning a champion this weekend. And it all starts with Florida and North Carolina. The Gators start with possession.
So they need to be calm and confident with the ball, but look for the openings.
Gianna Monaco, 27 in blue. Dispossessed there, regathers it. She's Florida's leading scorer on the season. And it's the Gators who draw first blood in this semifinal. Franny Hahn curling around the cage to open the scoring.
You couldn't script this start better for Florida. Getting possession on the draw. Possession is going to be key in this game, especially for Florida. Look at the movement. Florida is a little bit rattled. However, they maintain possession. Excellent job. Franny Hahn comes from behind the cage. Great pass from Monaco. And just a step above goal line extended. So love the openings here.
Dangerous off a restart. Passes.
And when you're being face guarded, you're trying to be denied of the ball. There are other ways that you can get involved in the action. You saw them try to use a pick earlier. You can get the end line runouts.
Kaylee Harden weaves in and scores. We were just talking about Davies as a two-way midfielder. Kaylee Harden, a two-way midi for UNC, ties it at 1.
Kaylee Harden headlines the depth that this team has at the midfield. They're all over the field at the draw control circle on the defensive end. But right here, she shows off her dodging ability on the perimeter. Marissa White goes underneath. That clears the lane for Harden to get over the top of her defender. You see number 21 cutting through so that Harden can slice right down the heart of the Florida defense with no slide in sight. Handles the contact and buries that through pressure. Both Humphrey sisters, but it looks like even woman down, they're trying to shut off Ashley Humphrey on the right side of your screen right here.
Here's Vergano, the dangerous lefty. Earns a shooting space, and she'll step up for a free position here on the power play. Winding up, lets it rip. Great save, Elise Fennell. And she almost scooped it into her own net, and she did. Fennell trying to scoop it up after a spectacular save. Something she's done thousands of times. It goes awry, crosses the line, and North Carolina takes the lead 2-1.
Borgata winds up and shoots. Fennell with the save, and it bounces on the foot, but watch the rake. And that ball crosses the goal line. Carolina with the early lead. It's a lot of room for the defense needs to have to cover to come to the slides.
And you can see the slides aren't quick to go. So you see Chloe Humphrey getting involved, trying to get on the same page as her teammate to get the ball with the right timing.
Humphrey goes lefty, denied by Fennell.
And that's got to feel good for Fennell to make that save.
I agree with you, Shin. All you need is one teammate on the same page as you to be able to pop out and get the ball, even when you're being face guarded.
Davies, an answer! Caitlin Davies delivers, and the junior ties it at 2.
The Big 12 midfielder of the year. Does a little bit of everything for this team, but this year it's been her production on the offensive end. It starts with an unbelievable save from mid-range by Elise Fennell. Quick clear out. Because they have 3 middies, they can push transition all the way end to end. And it's a high north-south dodge by Davies. She recognizes that there's no slide or hedge, so she realizes she's got a ton of real estate to keep going if she keeps her foot on the gas, and that is what that midfielder does so well, using her burst of speed and strength. She's the defender that takes the top dodging threat of opposing offenses, and she's matched up on Clark Hamilton, the freshman.
Clark Hamilton, 21 in blue and orange. I said they go inside. Basso denied. Good save there by Betty Nelson.
Yeah, Charlotte, you make a good point. It's been interesting, the transformation in the first quarter. At first, North Carolina offensively not fazed by the double face guard, and now you get the sense on the sidelines there's a little bit of panic there.
Hamilton with a head of steam fires Florida in front. The freshman with her 55th goal. Shot out of a cannon. What a special player.
This is a win-win situation for Florida here. Not only does Clark Hamilton get the score, but Carolina is being awarded a yellow card. 55th goal this season for the star freshman. Mandy O'Leary telling us they knew that she was something special coming into this program. An excellent one-on-one dodger, gets her defender on her side, throws in the fakes. Her confidence emerging as a huge goal scorer, evading the checks. That is amazing. Look at the wrist dexterity and strength. I think it makes sense for Florida here to really work the clock right now. 2 minutes penalty. It's releasable on the score, and the shot clock is still in effect.
Monaco, the extra pass, and it's an easy finish. Florida cashes in on the power play. And we welcome those that are joining us on ESPNU here at Gillette Stadium. Charlotte North, Sheehan, Stanwick, Birch, Jay Alter with you, Dana Boyle just on the sideline. Jordan Basso has just delivered Florida a power play goal. And the Gators now leading undefeated #1 North Carolina 4-2. What a start for Florida.
Unbelievable execution on the woman up unit. They have 3 on the crease. That is an overload situation.
Oh, she has proven she belongs, scoring in a national semifinal against #1 undefeated North Carolina. That's what makes this weekend so special. All 4 teams believing they can be the ones to capture a national championship. Osborne, she broke free, everything but the finish. Elise Fennell, another huge save for Florida.
Great stop. Love the backdoor cut. And Fennell stood strong, but this is the ride. UNC is excellent coming up with getting the ball back.
North Carolina undefeated, but certainly no stranger to a come-from-behind victory. They trailed in both games against Northwestern and Boston College in the regular season, came back to win it. So you got to play a full 4 quarters against this top-seeded Tar Heels team. One area that they have been very strong in is their pressure. They have caused Florida trouble in the clearing game.
I like the change that UNC is moving right here. Instead of pulling Ashley and Chloe Humphrey out in the face guard, they're working them into the offensive set. I think that's a better rhythm for them. They looked a bit out of sorts.
Osborne, Fennell read it well. Couldn't corral the save, though. It's loose. Jump ball. These battles for the ground balls in the national semifinal mean so much. North Carolina stays on possession. Osborne feeding it in. What a goal! Chloe Humphrey climbed the ladder to bring it in and put it into the back of the net. Freshman to freshman, Eliza Osborne to Chloe Humphrey. 2 first-team All-ACC players in their first year playing college lacrosse. They show why there.
That was a great start to the second quarter for Carolina. Not only winning the 50-50 ball, but just getting Chloe Humphrey involved. This is what she's done all season long. She catches basically anything thrown into her and can finish. Great pass up tight. Eliza Osborne looks to draw the shooting space back. Instead, gets it inside to Chloe Humphrey, who does an excellent job catching it all around. Good pump fake. She catches it, throws it into space, and then shoots, absorbing the contact and pressure. And that's a foul right there where you see the push on the body. I'm surprised that that wouldn't be a foul call.
That because she couldn't corral what happened after the save has led to a North Carolina goal.
Chloe Humphrey, the first freshman ever to be a Tewaaraton nominee, finalist.
Another great save by Fennell. She's reading it really well, even though Florida has struggled with what comes after the save, both in the clearing game. Monaco, the Gators' leading scorer, been quiet so far in this first half. Totally denied there. Sophie Student, terrific defense, and now Student off and running. The transfer from Virginia Tech. Great strides, turns defense into offense so easily. Scramble for the ball, Chloe Humphrey turns around and scores! Chloe Humphrey, back-to-back goals for the freshman to tie it at 4.
The blazing speed of Sophie Student out of the collapsing double team. She's the defensive midfielder for this Tar Heels team. She comes up with a ground ball after she closes this double team, swats the ball away using her stick to her advantage, and she's off to the races. That sets up an unsettled situation. Chloe Humphrey does not elect to take that one-timer down the alley. She instead holds on to it, uses the deception to get just one step above goal line extended. Eliza Osborne and Kaylee Harden on the circle as that 3 versus 3 unit. They've developed a lot of chemistry. It seems like they're on the same page, and Osborne comes up with a lot of possession for this Tar Heels team.
Feed it into Humphrey. She's got a hat trick. Make it 3 straight goals for Chloe Humphrey.
Great turnaround this second quarter for North Carolina. They ended that first quarter down 4-2, and then Chloe Humphrey has taken over. 3rd goal today, 3 in a row. And she's done it different ways each time she's scored. Her cutting, she just waits for the defender to hesitate ever so slightly, and it will explode to cage and get her stick free. Beautiful pass from Caroline Godine. Very tough for a goalie to have to look at the feeder that's behind the cage and then find whoever's shooting.
Chloe feeding this time to another freshman on the field, Addison Patillo. That's what's so impressive about this Tar Heels team. Undefeated, #1 in the country. And when they put 4 freshmen on the field together, one of them right on cue, Eliza Osborne delivers. 4 of their 7 offensive players on that possession, freshmen, and make it 4 straight goals for #1 North Carolina.
Eliza Osborne has had an impact all over this game. She's the ACC Freshman of the Year. Coming out of the midfield for the Tar Heels, she has an ability to win her matchup on the perimeter. A subtle plant step. She's reading the hips of her defender to the matchups that are favorable to your offense, that you think you can win, but give the perimeter space to dodge.
And Jenny Markey dispossessed. That swarming North Carolina defense delivers again, and the Tar Heels have numbers in transition. Ashley Humphrey, right on cue. Beautiful feed to Patillo, another freshman. And the Tar Heels are flying in this second quarter. It's a 5-0 North Carolina run.
#1 offense in the nation on display in that play. 30th goal from Patillo. #1 recruit in the nation, Kate Levy, with a great takeaway check. She leads that team with caused turnovers. Sam Forrest on the run, and this just passing. Beautiful job, Ashley Humphrey, the nation's leading assister, gets it to Patillo, the quick handle and finish of the shot. UNC has hit the last 4 shots.
Executed beautifully to find Basso wide open. Basso passing this time, point blank range. Monaco couldn't finish it. Great save, Betty Nelson from in close.
NCAA quarterfinals last year. And it is clear, speaking with them yesterday, how happy they are to be back here. They've had a perfect season, but they do not feel overly confident. They feel confident and smart, but also with a lot of gratitude.
Fennell, great save. She's been reading it well, especially going low.
And it looks like Florida making a little adjustment defensively, not shutting off Chloe Humphrey too far on the perimeter like they are to older sister Ashley Humphrey, but she gets involved off the end line run out.
Yeah, that's one way to break out the face guard. If you're closest to the ball, you can restart. And she finds Marissa White for another Tar Heels goal. Make it 6 in a row for #1 North Carolina.
Opposing defenses on high alert when Ashley Humphrey has the ball behind the cage. She's the quarterback. Her eyes are always up. She finds the opening, and she puts her team up 4.
Godine now acting more as a quarterback, holding the ball, as Ashley Humphrey, who usually occupies that position, is being face guarded and pulled out of the play.
Here's Patillo, goes low and scores. North Carolina can't stop scoring. Make it 7 in a row for the top-seeded Tar Heels.
Carolina has exploded this second quarter. 12 shots. Florida's just had 2, and Patillo gets her 30th first goal this season. It's like UNC needed to catch their breath after that first quarter, and they have come on so strong. Look at all the space and room, all that green area. Patilla's able to absorb the contact. It's good one-on-one defense, but she just takes the check, gets her hands free, and a nice bouncer to pass it by Elise Fennell. Good look at the goal cam. You see the movement and just a sliver of space.
Patillo has an insanely lethal first step on the dodge. Another dodging threat from the midfield, and one of the young members of this Tar Heel team that has made a significant impact.
She's so smooth and quick as she moves through the field.
And this is the second draw control in a row that Kaylee Harden has won. Off of the ground, just does not stop pursuing the ball.
The entire team for this UNC team has elevated itself in the second quarter. You see it defensively, coming up with the great calls, turnovers in the midfield and on attack.
Chloe Humphrey, that speed is unstoppable. 4 goals for the freshman, and with that goal, she passes Jamie Ortega for the most goals scored in a single season in the history of North Carolina lacrosse. What a moment that is to do it in the national semifinal.
On the biggest of stages, passing one of the game's all-time greats in terms of goal scoring. She does it on a dodge here, but she sees that she's got space underneath, and there is no slide because that top crease player cut through for her. So she knows that, she's aware, so she gets underneath and she's able to bring her stick back to the interior portion of the 8-meter, her dominant right hand to put it far, low, and away. When you're ready to send the double, but the dodger goes quickly, you can't get there in time. So Chloe Humphrey acting on that ball movement, dodging quickly to where there's real estate.
Godine on the run, stings the corner, blows it right by Fennell, and North Carolina has blown this semifinal wide open in this second quarter. 9-0 Tar Heels since the first quarter ended. Wow.
You see the smiles. Carolina offense, they're feeling it, working the ball, unselfish. And Caroline Godine, she's had the eye to feed. This time she's got the eye to score. The sidearm rip, top corner. 9 goals on 14 shots. This offense is on fire.
Rachel DeCecco and Drew Carter will give you a look at that matchup coming up at halftime and show you, I'm sure, a lot of Chloe Humphrey goals and North Carolina's incredible second quarter. Outscoring the Gators 10-0 after that goal. You simply couldn't have a better second quarter in the sport of lacrosse than what we've seen from North Carolina in this semifinal.
In this quarter, this Carolina offense has put on a 1v1 dodging clinic, and a lot of that comes from the teammates off ball, setting them up with space and time. This Carolina offense, when you don't have the ball in your stick, on the right side of this field right here, they are constantly moving and occupying their defender. That's what gives Eliza Osborne time and space to go to work. It's the shiftiness, the change of direction, and the two-handed approach from up top from Eliza Osborne.
And a 10-0 quarter. You rarely see that in this sport. To do it in a national semifinal is so special. And this is the first game of 4 days of nonstop lacrosse as we crown a champion in both the women and the men's side right here at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough.
And Clark Hamilton are involved as the party starter, the Dodger.
Sam Forrest steals it away from Clark Hamilton, and North Carolina has numbers. Tar Heels so dangerous in transition. Chloe Humphrey winds up and scores! Humphrey unleashes an absolute flamethrower!
What a spectacular play. 5th goal of the day. The redshirt freshman Chloe Humphrey sat on the sidelines last year, injured with a foot injury. This year she's a star. Sam Forrest with the takeaway check. And then in transition, this Tar Heel team is so dangerous. The step and rip.
It takes an unbelievable amount of control to get this shot off in a sliver of space and generate that amount of power from the outside. We saw in that replay of the foul on Chloe Humphrey how she doesn't stop moving. We saw it in the first half, but constantly working off ball to manipulate her defender.
And that's why it's so hard to face guard her.
Chloe Humphrey make it 6 goals to her name in this semifinal. And it's 12 straight North Carolina goals. Chloe Humphrey has 6 of them.
One of the best compliments you can get as a lacrosse player is, what's your dominant hand? One of the most two-handed players that we have seen in the college lacrosse landscape. Chloe Humphrey initiates from behind, but she can go either way. She earns the race to goal line, gets her hands free, and she is on a tear.
Whoever ends up with more goals, Taylor or Clark, and sets that NCAA record for most goals in a season will be the Tewaaraton winner. Chloe Humphrey might have other ideas, and now Marissa White gets in on the act. Her first goal of the game, and North Carolina now leading by 11. And this clock will run now that North Carolina's up double digits. Florida called a timeout after the last goal to prevent it from running. And now there's nothing Florida can do to stop the clock.
Marissa White, 47th goal this season. She's one of those players that redshirted last year in 2024. She can score in multiple different ways. Excellent, splitting through the defense, protecting her stick, and evading the crease. Love the ability. When you're shooting right on top of a goalie like that, there is really nothing much the goalkeeper can do. You see the smile from White.
13 straight goals, 9 straight draw controls. Truly one-way traffic in this semifinal. And now Kate Levy an opportunity to further this North Carolina lead.
Carolina has been stellar on the draw circle, holding possession, and defensively have really stepped up.
And Levy beats Finau and adds another to Carolina's tally.
Kate Levy, daughter of head coach Jenny Levy, comes into this Tar Heels program having grown up around the older teams as a younger kid, now playing on the biggest stage. Buries an 8-meter.
Sarah Gresham thought she had won it to herself, stolen away by Florida. This is the first time the Gators have had possession in a long time. Sometimes when that happens, Sheehan, you can force it.
And that's just a pass you don't want to make right there. You got to make sure that you run out of trouble. And that's a hard foul in the middle. And we'll see what this color is. It's going to be a green card when they are even on offense, but especially when they're warming up. Such a great feeding team. Very unselfish, constantly moving the ball.
This is poetry in motion. A power play goal. And North Carolina, they're picking the right passes. Ever since that first quarter ended, this has been complete domination by UNC.
Carolina looks calm. They look confident. So unselfish. Getting the defense spread out, warming up. You make plays when you're a player up by moving the ball, finding the seams. Marissa White gets this pass on the run. Ashley Humphrey with the assist.
And then the Tar Heels have cashed in. They started shooting 2 for 7, so a slow start. Since then, they have made 15 of their last 21 shots. Remarkable. Already 6 goals today. Humphrey weaving in and scores. Chloe Humphrey, she can't stop scoring. Make it 7 goals for Chloe Humphrey.
Chloe Humphrey is on a tear. This time exploding off the 8-meter, protecting her stick.
You'd think we're lying when we said Florida led this game 4-2 at the end of the first quarter. Gators had all the momentum in the first 15 minutes, and it's been 16 straight goals for North Carolina. Denied on the power play, Vergano. Hoy makes the stop for Florida. Florida 5 failed clears. North Carolina has capitalized. The pressure has been outstanding. Harden, another goal. Kaylee Harden cashes in on the power play. She scored the first goal of this game for North Carolina, and now she scores the 19th.
This team shares the ball so well, and that is evident when they are in the power play setting. Ashley Humphrey rides to get this ball back, takes it away from Caitlin Davies, and that gives them another chance to go to work. Ashley Humphrey sets up Kaylee Harden, and that subtle hesitation as she catches that ball is what freezes the defense. And then she earns another step towards the center cage.
15-goal lead. She's saying this game's not over. We got to keep our foot on the gas.
But I think also what you want is to make sure you close out those 15 minutes strong. So they've done a great job in the second and third quarters. First quarter was not great, but you definitely want to make sure you close the fourth quarter the way that you had the second and third quarters. And UNC has put the pressure on defensively, causing 8 turnovers for Florida.
And right now you're seeing a lot of substitutions being made on the offensive end. Both Ashley and Chloe Humphrey not in right now for the Tar Heels.
And what a luxury that is.
Really looking forward to the second game between BC and Northwestern.
But as much as we talk about the offense, it's really that pressure, the defense so dialed in for the Tar Heels right now. I just can't think of a better second and third quarter than we saw from North Carolina. And it's Nicole Humphrey who gets in on the scoring. The third Humphrey sister scores the 20th goal of this semifinal for North Carolina. And Chloe and Ashley loving it.
Little sisters on the sideline jumping up and down for their big sister Nicole back at Carolina. What a great moment for this Tar Heel team and the Humphrey family here with Nicole's battle injuries, foot injuries this year. Godin with the feed inside, and that's a nice handle. Catch and score. Nicole Humphrey, one of those players that was on the 2022 National Championship team.
At the Final Four, sure does help, but it showcases the depth of this team.
And what's incredible is because of the age gap, Ashley and Nicole have never played organized lacrosse with Chloe until this season. Obviously, played many times in the backyard, but
has not scored, does have 2 assists. She tried to take that, but just was not able to slice through the defense cleanly.
Foul called. Betty Nelson says no. The shutout from the first quarter remains for Carolina.
Nice defense in Florida.
That rings off the pipe after Hoy got a piece of it. Riley Casey now with a free position. The veteran winding up, steps in, rings it off the pipe. Monaco, saved by Betty Nelson.
In terms of perimeter pressure, perfectly timed double teams, stick checks, just disrupting this Florida offense and doing it early.
Nelson, another great save in this fourth quarter. North Carolina, a little more than a minute left from holding this Florida team scoreless for the final 3 quarters of this semifinal. They shut Florida out for the final 3 quarters of this game. 18 unanswered goals. A historic performance. And North Carolina will battle for a national championship on Sunday.